Up to the mid-18th century, and indeed long after that, the British Army fought in close order. And this was because they had flintlock muskets. It took 2 or 3 minutes to load a musket, so once you had fired, you relied on your bayonet.
You all lined up in your red tunics, all looking very splendid, and the other lot would stand on the other side of the hill or the other side of the field, and you'd shoot each other, and whoever ran away first lost.
It wasn't really until we went to America and we found ourselves not fighting European armies, but very highly skilled men who had been trained by the American Indians.
The original concept of the Light Infantry came about really as a result of the American War of Independence, when the British generals saw that the American troops operated often without detailed orders, able to use their initiative in small groups and so on. And so that concept really took off during the Napoleonic War under General Sir John Moore.
We were formed as light companies by Sir John Moore, which were then skirmishing forward, protecting the heavy columns, the redcoats as they were called, who marched in straight upright with muskets, etc. We skirmished forward, and more or less, if you want, the modern day recce or even SAS type thing of that era or of that time.
There's always been a slightly less formal approach to life in the Light Infantry and the Green Jackets. We do refer to the thinking soldier. We do actually encourage people to think about a problem before they plunge in.
We give them freedom to think and act on their own, and our command structure has never been as rigid as the rest of the army.
The Light Infantrymen were intelligent, good-looking, fit people. And the fitter you were, the better you would be in combat, which was, after all, what we were training for.
The training was unbelievable. I dreaded it. I hated it. But a few years later, when you look back, you find out it's some of the best days of your life.
The county affiliations continued into the 20th century, and on the 18th of July 1967, it was agreed that the county regiments would amalgamate and form one super regiment entitled the Light Infantry.
It was easier for us in many ways because we had served with each other in war, on operations. The Durhams, the Shropshires, the Yorkshires, the Somersets, the Cornwalls were all very proud regiments, proud of their heritage, and they gelled together quite well.
We had such a high calibre of senior NCOs. The ethos pushed down to the men, and it was striving to be at the next level.
Our cap badge goes all the way back to the 15th, 16th, 17th century. That's where it started. The Durham Light Infantry was the 68th a foot. The King's Own York's Light Infantry was the 51st a foot. So we all had names like that, but we always had the bugle within the cap badge.
We march at a quicker pace, we double into battle rather than walk. We're skirmishers.
One of the things that stood out for me was the wonderful mix, if you like, from Geordie to Yorkshire to Shropshire to Somerset to Cornwall, and the glorious mix of accent that you got.
The Light Infantry was proud to have as its first Colonel-in-Chief Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth the Queen Mother, who was succeeded by Her Royal Highness Princess Alexandra.
We were at a time when the country was needing us, and of course since then things have moved on. We've had things like Kosovo, Sierra Leone, Gulf War 1 and 2, and Afghanistan particularly changed the face of the British Army and probably changed it for the better.
We train every day to go on an operation, to fight a war, and very rarely until Afghanistan did anyone have the opportunity to do that. So when we went to Iraq, as the only light infantry battalion that went straight away, people used to phone me up and say, can I come back, can I join you? And then to go there and fight a war was fantastic.
At the beginning of 2007, the long and distinctive history of the Light Infantry drew to a close.
When we formed the Rifles, it was the Light Infantry amalgamated with the Royal Green Jackets, which is a regiment we were very close to anyway. It was an amalgamation of county regiments, primarily from the southwest, but with the Shropshire, Yorkshire and Durham as well.
The spirit of the Light Infantry lives on, Over 44 light infantry associations coordinate events and activities for all of those who served in the regiment during its 39 years of service.
We have a reunion every year. We expect over 2,000 veterans and their families, because soldiers like to actually relate to each other because they can tell and know what we've been through. And that's particularly not just on operations, but in training and on some of our postings. And it's a family, almost like a band of brothers. But of course, it's not just the men, there's women as well, but we are a close-knit unit.
We were a race apart.
It is a family, and it always will be a family.
It's the way the command get the best out of their men.
It's the camaraderie.
I wouldn't be who I am today if I had not been in Light Infantry.
Swift and bold, swift of thought and bold in movement.
The bond, that whole band of brothers thing, you can't explain it, you can't buy it, it just is something that we have.